Vulnerability is not winning or losing, it's having the courage to show up and be seen when we have no control over the outcome. Courage starts with showing up and letting ourselves be seen. You are imperfect, you are wired for struggle, but you are worthy of love and belonging. Shame corrodes the very part of us that believes we are capable of change. Vulnerability is the birthplace of innovation, creativity, and change. Authenticity is a collection of choices that we have to make every day. It's about the choice to show up and be real. The choice to be honest. The choice to let our true selves be seen. Connection is why we're here, it is what gives purpose and meaning to our lives. Empathy has no script. There is no right way or wrong way to do it. It's simply listening, holding space, withholding judgment, emotionally connecting, and communicating that incredibly healing message of "you're not alone." Vulnerability is the only bridge to build connection. Daring greatly means the courage to be vulnerable. It means to show up and be seen. To ask for what you need. To talk about how you're feeling. To have the hard conversations. The willingness to show up changes us. It makes us a little braver each time. Hope is not an emotion, it's a way of thinking or a cognitive process. The dark does not destroy the light, it defines it. It's our fear of the dark that casts our joy into the shadows. Perfectionism is a 20-ton shield that we lug around thinking it will protect us when, in fact, it's the thing that's really preventing us from being seen and taking flight. I define vulnerability as uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. With that definition in mind, let's think about love. Waking up every day and loving someone who may or may not love us back, whose safety we can't ensure, who may stay in our lives or may leave without a moment's notice, who may be loyal to the day they die or betray us tomorrow, that's vulnerability. When we work from a place, I believe, that says, "I'm enough," then we stop screaming and start listening. We're kinder and gentler to the people around us, and we're kinder and gentler to ourselves. Compassion is not a virtue, it is a commitment. It's not something we have or don't have, it's something we choose to practice. You can't get to courage without walking through vulnerability. People who wade into discomfort and vulnerability and tell the truth about their stories are the real badasses. You can choose courage or you can choose comfort, but you cannot have both.
Your most unhappy customers are your greatest source of learning. It's fine to celebrate success, but it is more important to heed the lessons of failure. Don't compare yourself with anyone in this world. If you do so, you are insulting yourself. If you are born poor, it's not your mistake. But if you die poor, it's your mistake. We always overestimate the change that will occur in the next 2 years and underestimate the change that will occur in the next 10. Don't let yourself be lulled into inaction. It's fine to have social media that connects us with old friends, but we need tools that help us discover new people as well. I believe that if you show people the problems and you show them the solutions, they will be moved to act. If I'd had some set idea of a finish line, don't you think I would have crossed it years ago? The internet is becoming the town square for the global village of tomorrow. If you think your teacher is tough, wait until you get a boss. He doesn't have tenure. Life is not fair, get used to it. The world won't care about your self-esteem. The world will expect you to accomplish something before you feel good about yourself. It's fine to get involved in the things you love, but it's important to remember that you're just one person. In 3 years, every product my company makes will be obsolete. The only question is whether we will make them obsolete or somebody else will. Your success will be defined by the number of people you impact in a positive way. If you give people tools, and they use their natural ability and their curiosity, they will develop things in ways that will surprise you very much beyond what you might have expected. If you are a philanthropist who is giving away billions of dollars, you can have a big impact. If you are an individual who is working in the nonprofit sector, the impact you can have is still very high. Expectations are a form of first-class truth. If people believe it, it's true. Intellectual property has the shelf life of a banana. As we look ahead into the next century, leaders will be those who empower others. The best way to generate superior returns is by identifying and buying an undervalued, underappreciated, or overlooked investment and selling when the rest of the world recognizes its worth. The biggest challenge is how you manage yourself. You have to be willing to make mistakes regularly. There is nothing wrong with it. Being wrong 6 or 7 times out of 10 should suffice. The only way you create real value is by making the world a better place. We're in the business of buying businesses. You want to be greedy when others are fearful. You want to be fearful when others are greedy. The great thing about investing is you don't have to swing at pitches. You can watch pitches come in 1 inch above or 1 inch below your navel and you don't have to swing. No umpire is going to call you out. You can wait for your pitch. I would encourage all of you as you approach the world to embrace the challenge of making the world a better place. The first rule of compounding is to never interrupt it unnecessarily. Risk is a part of God's plan for your life. Risk-taking is an integral element of faith. The only way to build a better portfolio is by building a better person. When you own a stock, you own a piece of a business. Never forget that. Investing, particularly value investing, is more an art form than a science. One of the most important things about being a good investor is not having a short-term orientation. If you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough. You want to be very careful not to allow short-term pessimism to affect your long-term optimism. Don't be afraid to be a contrarian, but do it in a way that is not in and of itself contrarian. Investing is an imperfect science, and you learn from your mistakes more than your successes. We don't get paid to be optimistic. We get paid to be accurate. It's always darkest before the dawn. And I've come to appreciate the wisdom of that statement. That's a principle that's always been very, very true in my life, whether in business or personally.
Power is not given to you. You have to take it. The most alluring thing a woman can have is confidence. I don't have to prove anything to anyone, I only have to follow my heart and concentrate on what I want to say to the world. I run my world. We all have our imperfections. But I'm human, and you know, it's important to concentrate on other qualities, besides outer beauty. Your self-worth is determined by you. You don't have to depend on someone telling you who you are. I'm a human being and I fall in love, and sometimes I don't have control of every situation. I'm over being a pop star. I don't want to be a hot girl. I want to be iconic. The reality is, sometimes you lose. And you're never too good to lose. You're never too big to lose. You're never too smart to lose. It happens. I can never be safe, I always try and go against the grain. As soon as I accomplish one thing, I just set a higher goal. That's how I've gotten to where I am. I don't feel like I have to please anyone. I feel free. I feel like I'm an adult. I'm grown. I can do what I want. I can say what I want. I can retire if I want. That's why I've worked hard. Your self-esteem is determined by you. You don't have to depend on someone telling you who you are. Do what you were born to do. You just have to trust yourself. If everything was perfect, you would never learn and you would never grow. The more successful I become, the more I need a man. We need to reshape our own perception of how we view ourselves. We have to step up as women and take the lead. When you love and accept yourself, when you know who really cares about you, and when you learn from your mistakes, then you stop caring about what people who don't know you think. I don't like to gamble, but if there's one thing I'm willing to bet on, it's myself. It's so liberating to really know what I want, what truly makes me happy, what I will not tolerate. I have learned that it is no one else's job to take care of me but me. The reality is, sometimes you lose. And you're never too good to lose. You're never too big to lose. You're never too smart to lose. It happens. Your self-worth is determined by you. You don't have to depend on someone telling you who you are.